Bernie Sanders has been a member of Congress since 1991, and while he hasn't had much of a legislative impact as a senator or congressman, seriously, look up his record. He's been killing it on social media with a series of viral videos meant to rile everyone up, including this one about student loan debt.
I took out $38,000 in loans. That $38,000 has now exploded to today, it's nearly $200,000. It's just ridiculous.
If you take that at face value, it does seem just ridiculous, except when you hear this guy's whole story. This is Alan Collnige. He went to the University of Southern California, and over a 12-year period, he earned 3 degrees in aerospace engineering. By the time he graduated in 1998, his student loans had grown from $38,000 to $50,000. But that's okay, because aerospace engineering is among the top college majors with the best starting salaries. In 1997, around the time that Alan graduated, Money Magazine reported that you could make as much as $50,000 a year on the low end and $105,000 on the high end. And according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, you only need a bachelor's degree to get an entry-level position. But instead, he decided to ride the educational gravy train for another 8 years, getting 2 more degrees both in aerospace engineering. So he takes those 3 degrees and accepts a lower paying job at Caltech as an aeronautical research scientist making $35,000 a year. During that time, he was having money problems. According to Alan, it was becoming harder to keep up with my loan payments. My rent had increased, my utility costs had more than doubled, and a number of relatively small but significant unforeseen expenses had cropped up. By the summer of 2001, my financial situation had reached a critical state, and I decided to take radical steps to solve this problem. What were those radical steps, you ask? Well, he asked for a raise from his employer, and when he didn't get it, Alan quit his job, and he did so without having an other lined up. This guy's literally a rocket scientist. I resigned my position at Caltech, expecting to find a higher paying position quickly, probably in the defense industry. Unfortunately, the events from September 11 put a chill on the economy. This makes no sense, considering that the Pentagon's budget grew overnight because of 9/11, which means billions of dollars were pumped into defense contractors. According to the LA Times, John Noonan, who served for years in the professional staff of the House Committee on Armed Services, stated in 2011, "California's aerospace industry has been one of the unsung heroes of the war on terrorism. They were able to quickly adapt to new battlefield requirements, most notably in their swift supply of badly needed reconnaissance, intelligence, and communication platforms." So despite what Alan would have you believe, the defense business was booming after 9/11. Alan couldn't land a job, so he ended up defaulting on his loans, and the next thing you know, collection agencies started hounding him. But what about those 3 degrees? Can't he just make use of one of them and get a job as an aerospace engineer? Nope. Unfortunately, since Alan has a boatload of debt, no one, including military contractors, will hire him because people with money problems are more likely to be a security risk. No one wants to take a chance hiring someone who might be desperate enough to sell information to either a foreign state or a rival company. As an example, in 2009, Alan got a job as a tech writer at a defense company. But with Alan owing over $100,000 at the time, his security clearance application was denied, and he was subsequently laid off. So what has Alan done to pay off his debt? Well, he's complained about it a lot.
I would say the student loans today are a full-on national threat. And I mean that in the strongest sense of the word. I've been looking at this problem really closely over the years. This is a predatory lending system.
He wrote The Student Loan Scam, the most oppressive debt in US history, and how we can fight back. In his book, he writes about his personal experience navigating the student loan system, and he has become an activist for student loan reform, even starting his own political action committee.
Strategy is to tell the world about student loan injustice.
Let's go to work, baby.
How you doing, sir? 44 million people, $1.5 trillion. Fox News needs to be covering this.
Confused by that
Who is
poll.
that guy out there? Student loan.
Let's not get that.
And here's Alan in 2011 with a very professional looking sign at the Occupy Wall Street protest in New York City. Being an activist isn't going to pay off your student loans.
Student loans are the only type of loans in this country to not have the same bankruptcy protections that all other loans have. Also, with statutes of limitations taken away, it makes it possible for the lenders to hound the borrowers for the rest of their lives.
The main difference is that if you default on a home loan, your lender can take your house away. If you default on a student loan, there is no way for a lender or collection agency to take away your education.
I think they're going to either have to, at a minimum, return bankruptcy rights, or they're going to have to cancel all student loans. I mean, look, if we can throw $7 trillion into Iraq and Afghanistan, can we not throw $1 trillion or so at student loan debt? I mean, come on, people.
What's $1 trillion anyway?
What did we get out of Afghanistan and Iraq? I can't point to anything.
I can. It helped to create thousands of jobs in the defense industry. Not that Alan would have first-hand knowledge about that or anything. There may be a need for student loan reform, but I'd think twice before listening to Collinge, who comes across as a conspiracy theorist.
The entire lending industry, so the guarantors, the servicers, Navy and Sallie Mae, Great Lakes, etc. And quite frankly, the Department of Education is essentially a captured agency. It is run by people from those companies that I just mentioned. The Office of Federal Student Aid is completely stacked with these insiders. No interest in looking out for the interests of the borrowers, and they have every desire and intention of making as much money from the borrowers as possible. And they can do it because they have all the power.
And here's an interesting fact. According to this 2008 New York Times article featuring Collinge, the Education Department said in a statement that it and others had tried to work with Alan, and in February 2008, offered to waive accrued interest and fees. That's a pretty frickin' sweet deal. Except that this video was made 10 years later, and Alan claims that he's now in the hole 200 grand. Alan doesn't want to pay his loans back. This guy wants to die a martyr for the cause of student loan reform. Godspeed, Alan.
And quite frankly, it's just ridiculous.
Thanks for watching, sharing, and hitting that like button. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Maybe check out some of my other videos. And if you want to help support the channel, check out the links in the description. As always, I hope to see you all next time.